We do want the community involved. We do want people to tell us what they want, what they expect, and what they'd like to see. That's important. We will be working with the City of Greater Geelong, because it falls within their municipality, the local trade groups, residents, visitors. We'll try and work with as many as we can to try and get that big picture of what everyone wants. Specifically for High Street, there is a budget of $3 million set aside. Again, we want to find out a bit more from yourselves, the community, what you actually want to see. We already know that we're going to have some issues. There are a lot of heritage buildings on the main street, and we will have limitations. We are under no way going to be knocking down, destroying, moving any of these. As far as we're concerned, these are fixed. They will not be moving. So we need to do something which doesn't disturb or minimal disturbance to these sort of buildings. So again, we'll be asking the community and working closely with the City of Greater Geelong. So what will happen next? We want to just finalise that consultation. We need to develop a business case, and this is something I've had to explain to other people. Even though the government has said to us, you've got 109 million, that still doesn't preclude us from having to put in this business case. So we still have to go through the justification, the benefit cost, and what I'm hoping to do, I'm hoping to actually use this as an example. I'm trying to think ahead, many years, of what bypasses actually do to a community, what they do to businesses. Right? So I'm hoping that in X years' time, after this has been built, we'll be able to go back and actually talk to people about what it's actually done, the positive, the negatives, the whole thing. And we'll try and use that information for the next bypass that's happening, the next road, the next whatever. So I've got plans more than what's just built this at the moment. So we'll continue that investigation to look at the routes and the key features. We'll do the detailed design. We'll do measurements of noise, underground services, environmental impacts, and just as I was saying, that work to identify where those intersections will be and what they will look like. So the community consultation, we've put in a lot of work to actually engage with the community. Council's helped us to identify particular groups. We're planning another drop-in session for April in this area. So we're hoping that everyone here will be able to give us some feedback. A very emotional issue will be talking to the landowners about what it actually means to their land. Some of the landowners will be absolutely unaffected. Some they already know because it's been 1980s, and some we might need an extra square metre of their land which wasn't planned for. So there's a whole range of impacted landowners, and we want to have those individual discussions with them before we go forward a bit more. Information bulletins update that are published. We've actually got a huge list of people who have provided us with their email or their postal address, and we keep them updated. Some people didn't want to, they were a bit nervous about giving us their address, that's fine. Everything we update is actually on our website. So the easiest way to do it is go onto the VicRoads website and search for something called Drysdale Bypass, and it'll give you the latest update of what we know, what we're going to do. What I will do, I'll give a couple of my cards. If people want to email me with their contact name, number, or whatever, then I'm happy to add them to the list. Timeline. The community consultation, the final design, and the business case, 2014 is what we're aiming for. 2015 is when we'll start pre-construction, and to me, The pre-construction is the stuff that you may not actually see. It's the completion of the studies, the land acquisition, starting to relocate some of the services. And just to show how quickly things can change, there was actually an announcement. This was Friday afternoon, we got this. So the government's going to bring forward $2 million to get that part of it started. So while I wrote this on Friday morning, it's already wrong. That's how quickly some of the stuff actually happened. So by 2018, it'll be well underway. One of the things I'm thinking about this is that I've been associated with a number of road constructions, and I always find that we have to construct a road or widen a road while traffic's still using it. And this is an example. I hope it's going to be a lot easier, a lot quicker, because it's new road. But by 2018, if all this follows through, by 2018 it'll be well underway. But we're looking at about a 4-year timeline from when we start to when we finish. We're looking at a 4-year timeline, 4.5 years. But I think we'll do it 4 years. As I say, because we're not working under traffic conditions. And I think I'm getting pretty close to have bored everyone for enough. So I might take questions if anyone has any questions.
So if you've got any questions, raise your hand in your first name and stand up. And obviously, if you're off the back, try and use a nice loud voice so we can hear you. So, any questions? Yep, over the back, please.
Frank, I was talking about the traffic this slow, the coals, say, Aldi's and all that. It's a jam now, and sort of built back to nearly a kilometre up High Road. How are you going to do that rotation? Is it going to be a roundabout? Is it going to be lights?
Yep, I'll just go back to the plans. You're talking about somewhere about there. Yep. So that to me is good feedback, because to me what it's saying, if traffic's banking back there now, then maybe what we need is that connection here, so that the traffic that wants to go there still can use High Street, but the traffic that's actually trying to get away can do that. So that to me is an example of where we want to hear that, because that will help us say, yes, that's a location where you actually need to have that connection.
That's how they're going to do it. It's going to be a massive build-up. It'll create a bigger build-up. You can round about in there, Harvard Road, you still don't get jammed all the way back.
I think at the moment you've only got one option to get in and out.
Yeah.
The bypass will give a second option. So I think what will happen, there'll be a sharing of the load. Because not everyone that's using High Street will use the bypass. There's going to be a sharing of the load. Are you talking about? Sorry, is that right? Is that the right area? Yeah. So what you're saying at the moment, that gets jam-packed? Yeah. So when the bypass comes, because it's jam-packed at the moment, about 40% of the traffic that's there doesn't want to be there. It's going there because High Street's the only way to move up and down there. Right?
It's all going to come that way then, so you're going to do a massive build-up again.
No, sorry, I don't think it will, because I think, as I say, 40% of what's there, I think, actually wants to do that. So there'll actually be a reduction in traffic. The people, the trucks that are going to do deliveries will still be there, yes, absolutely. But those that don't want to do it,
Sorry,
clarify for me?
yeah, but the problem Frank's talking about is Murdoch Road. Yeah. Not High Street.
Yeah.
Murdoch Road.
Yeah.
You can't get.
That's Murdoch Road?
Yeah, that's it. You
Yep.
can't get up that road. It banks back, nearly back to where the ring road is now.
So, yeah, so people are going in there to High Street.
So high street.
Is that what you hear? Yep.
So, the next part of that, my question was, and I think you just answered it, was the amount of traffic travelling through Drysdale.
Yep.
How much needs to be there, and how much is just trying to get from Port Arlington to
Yeah. Sorry, so that's what I was saying. About 40% of the traffic going through High Street actually doesn't want to be there. So I think what I'm saying is that this, yes, 60% will still be there, but the other 40% is actually just will be taken away by the ring road.
Yeah, but it's still got to cross the Morrock Road, which is
Here.
Yes, that intersection there.
Yeah. Yep. So that intersection we'll have to look at. Do we put roundabout, traffic signal? What are we going to do? Yeah. So that's part of the investigation.
And I think once again, if you've got something, it's obviously for each person maybe got a specific issue they may want to deal with. Obviously, Sam's offered his email. It's probably good to make use of that and put it on the list, etc. of the issues there. Tom, thanks.
Sam, Tom O'Connor, what modelling are you using, internationally or nationally, that'll give us a better feel for how this will shape?
Sorry, what?
Are you using any international or national models?
We're using.
That'll give us a on where we probably should be going. The second, Sam, just bear with me. The second part of the question is pinch points. Pinch points right today. The conversation keeps going, particularly with the initial community engagement process. The pinch points weren't clearly identified, and we seem to go around the same thing all the time. So I'm talking international modelling and today's pinch points.
Yep. The modelling we're using is this thing called VIDM. VIDM is a Victorian integrated transport model. Okay, so it's a model which is looking. It's set aside specifically for Victoria. So, for example, if you get modelling from France, they're all on the wrong side of the road. So the modelling is this thing, and it's been set aside specifically for Victoria. It will help us identify the pinch points, but like any modelling, it's an estimate. Modelling is an estimate, that's all it is. So what we need to do is we will get that model and it'll identify pinch points. And then we'll come back to the community and say, is this what you see yourself? Is this model shows pinch points there. Is that what you see?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. It's taken away 40% of the traffic.
The end point of that really is the engagement of the community. This is a great way to keep the community, get the community engaged, keep them engaged, because ultimately we're accountable for the outcome.
Oh, we want to share that accountability. We're not putting it all back on you. Right, but I agree with you. I mean, I've been in situations where people have told me nothing, and I've gone ahead, and then after I've done it, they've said you shouldn't have done that. Oh, thank you. If you told me before, I would have done it. But again, that's why on quite a number of slides, the community feedback. I mean, we've got hundreds of people listed in our emails and addresses that say they want to be kept informed. And to me, that's a two-way conversation. So I agree absolutely with you.